Vacation rentals are all about freedom, and door locks are the key. LOL. Okay, seriously, I'm gonna be telling you exactly, because this is so important, guys. You gotta know what are the best locks for your vacation rental. You really gotta know, because it is so important. Let's go. So first, I'm just gonna cut to the chase and tell you what to do, which ones are best, because this is so important, and I'm gonna share with you why. Number two, there are a sea of options. I know this sounds like a pretty simple thing, but there are a sea of options, and I'm gonna narrow this down for you so that you don't get lost in that sea. And then third, I'm going to tell you where you can get these locks at for the best price. As a host that takes in guests, you want to make sure that you are making the process as easy as possible. As I said, vacation rentals are all about freedom for your guests. They want to be free, they are on vacation, they want things to be hassle-free. So when it comes to vacation rentals, you have to make the process very easy for them. You have to make their stay with you very comfortable, very easy to check in, make it easy to get into the property. And that's where it begins. So of course, you'll spend lots of time making sure that your homes are in the perfect location and that they have the perfect amenities and that they have the things that you need. But before the person ever gets to see the inside of the property, they need to be able to get into the property very easily. And this is so important. So when vacation rental people come to your property, you want to make the check-in process as easy as possible. So what we do in most cases is we send them the instructions on how to check into our property. So most people, you're going to send them a message, or you're going to send them an email, or you're going to send them a message on the app to explain to them how to get into the property, because many people are going to be driving or flying in, and they want to be able to check into that property whatever time it is that they arrive. And so you want to make sure that your property is accessible to them in a way that they can do that. You don't want to necessarily have to meet someone to give them keys or hide the key under the mat and all that other crazy stuff. You do not want to be doing those things. You want to make the process as easy as possible. And so we want to get into some options so that you can do that really easily. So the easiest way to get started, and the easiest thing that you could do, is just use a regular lock and key, okay? So you would basically get a lock box, okay? And you put the keys to the property inside of the lock box, and then you give the person, the guest, the code to open the lock box, retrieve the keys, and then open the door. So that is the easiest and simplest way. That doesn't require any fancy locks. That doesn't require anything new. That doesn't require you to have anything new installed. All you will usually need is a door handle that a lockbox can fit around. Or if you don't have that, you can install the lockbox next to the door. I mean, install it. You can like glue it where it's next to the door. They punch in the code, grab the keys out, and then unlock the door. And they can keep the keys with them throughout their stay. And then at the end of the stay, they return the keys to the box. That has worked for many, many years, and it is still one of the easiest and most effective ways to have people check in and out of your property. The second type of option for door locks is going to be keypad entries. So you'll see it where it has a keypad with numbers, 1 through 9, and then it has maybe a little lock, and then it has the door handle. And these are electronic key locks where the person would just punch in a code and then push the lock button, and then it would zoom, 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 and then unlock the door for them, okay? So these are keyless keypad entry locks. And you can get these locks at a bunch of different places like Home Depot and Lowe's and things like that, and they're not very expensive. Additionally, it is a great way to let people into your property, because all you have to do is send them the instructions, the code, and then how to work it. And then they never have any keys. They never have lost any keys. You don't have to keep track of any keys. You don't have to have anyone meet them with any keys. Essentially, this is a keyless option where they just punch in the numbers and they open the door. And this is a very simple thing to install and very inexpensive as well. Now let me give you the last and final one. So the latest and greatest thing in door locks are smart locks, okay? Smart locks. These are not keys, okay? That's the oldest way. Just take a key and open it up. Then the new age way was to punch in a number and then open it. Now we have smart locks, okay? That's basically a lock that has an app that's attached to it where you either put your phone up against it or you download the app and then the app communicates with the lock and opens the door. These are amazing, okay? These are like remote type of ways to open doors. You'll see some of the companies like Ring, R-I-N-G, which has some of this technology. You'll see another one is called August Lock, like the month, August. And then there's quite a few others if you went to Best Buy, and a few others. Vivint is another one, V-I-V-I-N-T, where they have remote options where a person could either use an app or you as the owner or the controller of the property can use your phone and let people in and out of the property. Now this is amazing and this is game changing, and I'm going to tell you why. Smart locks are such a game changer because not only can you allow the person remotely, to get the code and they just use an app and things like that. Now you have information as to when they entered the property and when they exited the property. And this is amazing, okay? Because you want to be able to control your vacation rental properties and use all of the technology that's available to us, because doing these things will decrease theft and it will increase your client's happiness, your guest's happiness, because many times this process is so seamless, okay? So for example, if they're struggling with the app, in many cases you can just go into your phone and push the button and open the door for them. So this eliminates the need to be near your properties or have people go meet the person or try to explain to maybe an elderly person how to download the app and things like that. So you got a really great benefit where a young person that has lots of apps on their phone and they're super tech savvy, they will get into those properties instantly, no problem. But even your older people, you may have someone 70, 80 years old, they're not as tech savvy, they have no interest in downloading any apps, and they still want to get into the property. Well, with a smart lock in most cases, you can unlock and lock the door yourself remotely, and boom, they're still happy. Okay, so where can you get all of these different things? I've gone through lock boxes, I've gone through keyless entry pads, and I've gone through smart locks. Well, all of these things are available pretty much to anyone, okay? You can get lock boxes at Walmart. I've gotten lock boxes for less than $20, okay? They are not expensive at all, okay? And then you can change the codes per each person, or you can change them each month. It's totally okay, and you can just go ahead and do that for a very inexpensive price. Keyless locks, you can get those at any of those stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, any of your hardware stores, or you can get them on Amazon. Smart locks, you're probably going to have to go to somewhere like a Best Buy or Amazon, because a lot of times those are not available at like the Walmart and things like that. So super inexpensive. The lock boxes, like I said, range from $20. Most of your keyless pad entries are going to be around $100, and those smart locks are going to be closer to $200 to $400 depending on what you do. And then I'm going to give you one last option just because I have to tell you everything. Noelle just loves to share with you guys. The last thing that you could do if you really, really were interested, you can do key swaps. So if you have, there's lots of services, I'm not going to give any recommendations, but there's lots of key swap services where you can just put the keys to the property into a locked box, almost like a locker, and then you tell the person to go there, put the code in, and then get the keys out of that box, and then they return them. So there's key services available so that you can manage your properties from anywhere. This is easy. You can do it. You want to make sure that you're providing people with a place that's safe, comfortable, and secure. And this is how you do it, and the locks are so important. Okay, so now you have everything that you need to know. I've given you so much. If you need to listen to this video again, please do go ahead and do that. I want to make sure that you go ahead and like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please allow me to keep giving you this free information, allows me to keep making these videos. The more subscribers I have, the more I'm rewarded. So I'll just keep making you videos if you help me by watching my videos, liking, subscribing, and clicking that little notification bell so that you don't miss any content. Again, giving you a free course right here on YouTube. So I want you to be successful to your success.